Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Mousillon campaign for Mortal Empires. Now I'm beginning to think this episode is cursed, because every time I'm going to start recording, something comes up. So first of all, it was on Saturday, when I mentioned about before I wasn't feeling well. But yesterday then, when it was supposed to have come out, I've been busy. And then when I went to record it, after posting on the community tab, I ended up getting an unexpected phone call and needed to help a friend out. So finally, I'm able to get around to starting the episode a day late, and, well, I'm trying to get this done as soon as possible. Hopefully, it'll come out today sometime. But anyway, guys, enough moaning. Let's get started with the campaign, where we're actually going to start things off today, as you can see, with a defensive battle against Clan Scourge. Now, looking through the enemy's army, I'm not concerned about a lot of their forces. The two that have caught my eye, and something I'm a little worried about, is Aquitane's reinforcements. Now, what concerns me is the 6 weapon teams he's got at his disposal, although going through them, I don't see anything that sort of jumps out at me as an upgrade from the Forbidden Workshop, so that's something. But the thing that is causing me a bit of concern is this, the Warpstorm Doomrocket. Now, I've never played as Aquitane, and I don't remember fighting him in previous campaigns, so I've never actually got to experience this myself. But I have seen videos about how the Doomrocket works, and it does terrify me. It does cause me quite a bit of concern about what it might do to my army. So we're going to have to try be safe and see what happens. But anyway, let's fight the battle and see how we do. Well then everyone, here we are at the Battle of Altdorf. Now, what I've done with my army is something a little different than usual, given the unique circumstances of the battle. If we look over to William's right, you can see we've got our right king, Lictoros, as well as the cavalry coming in there, and the same on our left flank. And high above us is Margaret, our paramour. Now, the beginning army, though, of the enemies is pretty weak. It's just a bunch of Skaven slaves, as well as a couple... No, it's just mainly Skaven slaves, as well as the Gracier here in the back. Now, in the far distance, you can actually see Aquitane's army making its way onto the battlefield. Now, this is something we're going to have to deal with in a bit. But for now, though, given how far away it is from our position, I'm quite happy just to let them do what they need to do. While they're getting onto the battlefield, my own reinforcements are coming on as well from Vlad. Now, what I've been just doing is that the garrison units that were coming in as reinforcements with only like 12 units, or 12 men in each one, I decided to send back. Didn't need them in the battle, weren't really worth the space they were taking up. So I was getting these guys to retreat and instead focusing on the units coming in with Vlad. Now, I'm not going to worry about Vlad for a little while because as soon as his army gets onto the map, what we're going to do is basically try and march him up onto this ridge here, so they can be in a position then to go after Aquitane's army. Now over here, I've put all my monstrous creatures, so the Vargolf, my Grey Men, and the Mortis Engine, to go after the weakened enemy forces coming in behind us. Now, again, these are just mainly Skaven slaves. They even got a badly injured Gracier, who looks like he's about to try and unleash a spell, but not going to be the most useful thing against my Vargolf. Yeah, wasn't that much use against him. But these guys will be more than capable of dealing with the reinforcements coming in behind us. And what I'm focusing on this part of the battle is going after the starting army. So you can see Margaret's infamous pendulum going straight across the battle line there. Unfortunately, the enemy just moved out of position, so I only managed to catch a couple of them in the spell. But it still gave her 18 kills, so I'm not going to complain too much. Now, as for the rest of the line, I've got my Damned Knights of the Realm basically charging into the enemy flanks here and over here. And what I've got as well is my Black Knights trying to circle around to attack the enemy from the rear. I've got Victor coming in over here, and William is making his way around the side, because I want him to go after the enemy Gracier. So I figured we'll let him try and avoid going after and getting caught up by the enemy's slingers and that, and instead just go after the Gracie himself. Now, remember what I said about the Doomfire rocket? Well, seeing this appearing on the map was really concerning. But I thought, okay, better move my units out of position. But then I noticed, all it was the enemy's Glacier using Howling Warp Gale. So now Margaret can't move from the position. That's okay. She can just stay there and attack the Skaven slaves in the process. Now you also saw a pop-up, just to showcase what's happened. Back here, we got some clan rats coming in from the menace below. Now luckily for me, this is the only use the enemy had during the entire battle, so I'm not worried. And not only that, but you can already see up here that we've killed off the enemy reinforcements. So all my monstrous creatures are going to make a beeline for those clan rats, and I feel sorry for those guys, I really, really do. Now over here, I saw it was going to be this warp lightning come shooting down, so I figured I'll start moving some of my troops out of the way. You can see the black knights that the unit was targeting originally go running out of the way and just avoiding the blast. But then, this happened. One flying rocket right down on the same position. Now, unfortunately, a couple of my knights did take a few bits of damage, but on the whole, considering how close we were to that explosion, yeah, I'm not going to complain. Not going to complain. So, what we're going to do instead is allow my cavalry units just to try and chase down as much of the enemy's forces as possible. And if I can get them to shatter, that would have been fantastic. But I am being careful, because we are getting Ikkit's army getting closer and closer, with Ikkit himself leading the way. So what I ended up doing pretty soon at this point is actually getting all my forces to retreat. I wanted to try and make it last as long as possible, but there you go, at this particular moment, they're running away. Now, Margaret here, I can't remember what I was actually trying to get her to do at this point, but you can tell she obviously overcast. Oh, there we go, it was a upgraded pendulum. So it didn't, again, do as much damage as I would have liked, but she managed to get up to 62 kills, so it's okay, it's okay. Now William is retreating back into the position with the rest of his army, so I'm using Foe Seeker to get up there as quickly as I can. Ikkit Claw is taking some shots at him, but not much I can really do about that. Everybody then is getting in position though, and you can see that Vlad's army is getting up onto the ridge as well. Now at this point, I end up getting Vlad to, as soon as he got into position really, to start making his way across, because I wanted him to go after Ikkit Claw. Hovering over Ikkit with any of my characters, or any of my units really, just came up with this, you know, this is basically a bad move. But I figured if anyone was going to be able to pull off fighting Ikkit in close combat, it was going to be Vlad. So you can see him launching a fireball over towards him right away, doing a bit of damage, a nice bit of damage in fact. And what I was actually surprised to see is, you'll see it in just a moment, I've actually got my Vargulf making his way over to join in the fight as well. But I will soon unleash the Gaze and Nagash on Ikkit using Vlad. In fact, you might be able to just see it happen any second. There we go. Blast away. It wasn't even the upgraded version, but look how much damage it did. This forced him though to actually use up, I didn't realize he had at the time, but he's actually got a healing potion. So it has to be generating his health, but that's okay, one of those things. Now, he's starting to run away. My Vargulf is chasing after him and trying to engage him in combat. But this is one of the downsides about Vlad, is that he is on foot. You can't give him a mount. So he's trying to go after Ikkit, and he's just running as fast as his feet can carry him. I activated the cast iron ring just because we started taking some shots from the numerous weapon teams and that, so I figured this would be a good way to try and keep him relatively alive. But as we were getting closer into position and the enemy was getting closer, I was starting my troops ready to get the advance in. You can see here, what I ended up trying to do was actually use the Wind of Death just to slice through the enemy's units. Managed to get a couple of kills in with the Storm Vermin game. Thank you. We managed to get a few kills in with the Storm Vermin, but it didn't do as much damage as I would have liked. But it allowed Aldrich to at least get some kills in. But then at this point, I've got everybody just charging in to try and go after whatever units they can. With my cavalry on each flank, what I ended up doing was basically trying to circle around the enemy, go after the enemy's weapon teams. Over here, I got my Vargulf as well as a couple of other units, I think, going after the enemy characters. You can see my Vargeists are coming around to go after these. We've got Black Knights coming in to go after them. We've got over here the Pegasus Knights going after some more Warp Fire Throwers. My main target was just to go after and try and pin as many of the weapon teams in close combat as possible, so we didn't have to worry about dealing with them. Now across the line though, you can see we are engaging enemies all across the place. I've got Storm Vermin I'm trying to fight over here, some more over here. The Mortar's Engine is coming to help though, and I've got Margaret. Although, in hindsight, she would not have been the best target to be, or the best person I should say, to be sending into combat with Storm Vermin armed with halberds. They're armor piercing as well as anti-large, so really not the best use of her, but I'm trying to get her out of combat slowly but surely. It will happen eventually, it's just going to take a little while for it to happen. As we go along then, you can see other units, Clan Rats, are facing the Grey Men in combat. Up here, we've got, well, William actually going after Slice In, the enemy chieftain. Seems I got some men-at-arms as well, although they just got blasted by the brass orb from Ickett's Claw. But it's okay, that's keeping them busy, and William is continuing to chase after Slice In on his Bonebreaker mount. If I go behind him here, you can see my Vargeist and Icket Claw. They're still having a fight, with Vlad helping out a bit. I'm trying to use his abilities whenever I remember. So he's got an ability, for example, to reduce the enemy's melee attack, which reduces it by -40. So given Icket Claw's low value, just makes it so he's unable to actually do any damage in combat when it's activated. Over on this side, you can see I'm bringing in my damn Knights of the Realm and my Black Knights to start chasing after some more enemy units, as well as to try and do weird charges when I can. Likewise over here, we've got units like my Vargeist coming in now once they've dealt with the weapon team, just to try and do those weird charges to reduce the enemy's leadership. But at this point though, the, well, battle is won. The only thing we're waiting on now is actually Ickett's Claw, because of him, well, being unbreakable, and just like that, we already managed to wound him. You can see down here now just a broken pile of the Doom wheel he was riding. We can't unfortunately see him in the wreckage, at least I can't spot him, he's probably somewhere in there. But unfortunately he's only wounded, not actually dead. But Vlad managed to do a pretty good job, I must admit. And the Vargulf managed to get a few kills in there as well. Cool. Now at this point I was trying to chase down as much of the enemy as possible. But it occurred to me a little bit later that given that a lot of this force is Icket Claw's army, and the fact that he was in march stance, it meant then that we'll probably be able to wipe out the entire enemy army because they lost the battle, even though they were the attackers. So I wasn't entirely sure, and we'll be able to see on the campaign map exactly what happens. But we managed to end things with a decisive victory, which I was very happy about. And so with that guys, let's go back to the campaign map. So there we go, a decisive victory with very few casualties, which I was very happy to see. Especially given how close I was to experiencing the Doom Scheme rockets right on top of my Black Knights. Thankfully though, we managed to get them just out of the way in time. Now one good thing as well about this battle, fingers crossed, was that Icket Claw's army came in march stance, so they were going to be already tired, and what I'm hoping is going to be the case is because they were in march stance and yet lost the fight, even though they just came in as reinforcements, I might be able to wipe out that entire army, which included some powerful units in the form of the Storm Vermin, as well as the weapon teams obviously. But we'll find out in just a second. I have to say though, I'm a little disappointed. We've taken 320 captives, and barely get any dark magic from that. You can obviously tell that Skaven do not value their fellows' lives, do they? Anyway, I'm just going to go ahead and murder them. I think will be the best use of it. So let's have a look. You're gone there, and you just got wiped out. Oh, that was nice. That was nice. Although I have to see what was that other army left and what did they have. Ah. Was not expecting this. So Gelt has turned up at the Moot, which, again, is going to see us lose the settlement. Now, I'm not that concerned about the Moot, in all honesty, but it's just getting a little annoying that every time we capture it, we soon end up losing it. But there's no way I can defeat Gelt's army with what I've got. Just looking at those Hellstorm rocket batteries and thinking about using my men-at-arms to fight that, yeah, that's not going to happen. We'll order resolve. It's inflicting any casualties on the enemy army. That's okay. And they've decided to take it. Okay. One handy thing though I noticed when we do take it back is that they do actually have a battle marker there. So, fingers crossed we'll be able to use it to get some more powerful units in the future. Okay then, finally my turn. So, enemy killed in battle, we picked up a gravedigger, hostile technology, Raiden, siege, lasts. Ooh. Those are some good bonuses for defeating a Claw. Extra power reserve, 10% research rate bonus. Yeah, very, very good. Confident defender, exterminator. Okay, Trice as well. Right. Okay. So the first thing I want to do, now it's back to my turn, is finally fight the battle at Altdorf. Because you may remember, I was planning to start today's episode off with the siege assault there. But that didn't happen because of that attack by Clan Squire. So, Red Duke, launch the assault. Now to be fair, the Barn Spire is massively in my favour. We've got 2 full stacks coming in with some powerful characters and units. And the enemy army is at roughly half strength, thanks to us laying siege to it and the attrition they've suffered. So we could easily auto-resolve this, but at the same time, it's Altdorf. Part of me does feel like we should fight this. You know what? Sure. Just for the opportunity for me to face a dragon. That's the reason why I want to do this. Is to send the Red Duke against the dragon, kill that off, as well as the steam tank. I might even let my characters do most of the fighting here. But, yeah, let's just go down there. So guys, here we are outside the walls of Altdorf as we prepare to take the city in the name of the Red Duke. Now speaking of the Red Duke, he's already spotted his first targets. In the distance, there is an Imperial Dragon flying above the central capture point, and we are making a beeline straight towards said dragon. Now, while the Red Duke is doing that, over on his left, we've got Mina making her way closer towards the walls, because if I hover behind the walls here and bring up the unit cards, you can see that there's a whole bunch of greatswords, and I figured it would be a good opportunity given their position to unleash the purple sun upon them. While she's getting in position to do that then, I'm bringing the Dreadwings over towards the walls. Now the original target was to actually go after this unit of Reichsguard hidden behind the buildings here. But as we got closer, I noticed that this light wizard blasted off it's called Shah's Burning Gaze towards the Red Duke. And I figured I'm not going to let him just continue to blast spells at me. So I soon sent the Dreadwings after the light wizard. And while they don't necessarily kill him, unfortunately, they do a ton of damage before I end up sending them off elsewhere. But anyway, as that's happening, you can see here we're just about to unleash our spell. Unfortunately, the spell doesn't go quite according to plan. It gets a few initial bits of damage, but it ends up going in the complete opposite direction that I wanted it to go. So it doesn't actually get much in the way of kills. In fact, if I hover over Mina, you can see there, just 3 deaths thanks to that spell. Not ideal at all. Now in the meantime, the enemy, my own towers are making their way towards the walls, and you can see in the distance we've got our reinforcements coming in from Malabad's forces. Now, at this particular point, I'm not that concerned about sending my infantry in, because I figured if the garrison is weak enough, my characters should do the job. So I've got Malabad and Ulcasin making their way over towards this section of the wall. You can see we've got some Demigryph Knights that we've just unleashed our Pestilent Breath from the Red Duke upon. And behind the wall, where was it? Just here. We've actually got a unit of Reichsguard, Zintler's Reichsguard, in fact. I figured they are both units are anti-large. These guys should be a pretty good target for them. Now, the opening duel, though, we all want to see is the Red Duke going up against that dragon. So, as they get closer, you can see both beasts flying towards one another before the dragon unleashing its fire breath. Now, of course, that's not going to deter the Red Duke, and the two lethal foes start dueling above the courtyards. Now, unfortunately for that Imperial Dragon, it's a very one-sided affair. If I hover over the Red Duke, you can just see all those bonuses he's got, and it's more than enough to kill off that dragon easily. As the mighty beast falls, it's time then for the Red Duke to continue the attack on this unit of Demigryph Knights. Now, it's again going to be a very one-sided affair usually, but they're not going to be fighting alone. You can see over here this unit of Reichsguard charging in order to help out. I'm unleashing a Assault of Stone just to try and help things out a little bit, especially as we've got another unit making their way into combat right now. Luckily though, the Assault of Stone is not that useful against a single creature like the Red Duke, so I can do it without worrying about him getting hurt. And likewise, I unleash a Wind of Death across the enemy knights. Managed to get a few more kills and a lot more injuries, but not really doing as much as I would have liked. But an interesting choice by the enemy AI is that the unit's silver bullet here was actually doing a fair bit of damage against the Red Duke from their shot. But for whatever reason, they decided to actually charge into melee. Not the best choice for them, but that's what they chose to do. Now, you might have noticed as we were moving in that... Where did she get to? Where did she get to? Oh yeah, here she is. You can see Mina has decided to charge in. Now, unfortunately, she's not the best when it comes to fighting in combat. Her stats are okay, and so is the armor and that, but all in all, she's not ideal for fighting compared to the Red Duke. But I try to help out a little bit by using Aspect of the Dread Knight, figuring that between that and the rear charge that she did, it might be enough to start getting the enemy to retreat. But we are talking about the Reichsguard and some Demigryph Knights. These guys are made of stern stuff. Although I say that, and the Demigryphs are about to retreat. Anyway, if we head back over here, you can see in the distance here, my trebuchets are firing upon the enemy towers. I just figured it gives them some good target practice. We might actually be able to destroy one or two, in case we need to bring in any more reinforcements. But looking at the situation on the wall, it's not really needed. The Screaming ones over here are already doing some damage against the handgunners right away. We've got some units of the Duke's Guard and the Sleepless Guard charging after the enemy swordsman. And we've got my other unit of Duke's Guard just coming in from this flank. And between all of them, it should be more than capable of just dealing with the enemy. Now, I've got Bolger's making his way over here. He's going to try and make his way up the tower, and he does succeed. But then I just forget about him completely, to be honest with you guys. I'm not that concerned at this point, although, wondering actually in hindsight, what's causing all this shooting? Oh right, it is the unit of handgunners, right. Okay. Now, while that's all happening, the enemy, well, my forces have started to get a bit more involved. Malabad has already dealt with the Demigryphs, and so he's going after the steam tank, as well as the great swords that have come in to help. Over back here, I've got my Viking that I've summoned in using Orcasin. He's doing a pretty good job of holding the great swords in place. I'm not concerned about losing him because he's a summoned creature. And then over here, we've got some more handgun... Well, actually, we've got the remnants. We've got handgunners here, a couple of Demigryph Knights, and so on. But Orcasin happens to be nearby, and he's doing a relatively okay job against them, truth be told. Not as ideal as I would have liked, but we're managing. Now, I summoned in a unit of zombies because I figured I'd best get him out of there. So, when they're slowly coming up, they'll hold the enemy in place a little bit, and actually will help out in the fight in the long run. Now, while that's happening though, we've got, over in the centre, a bit of bad luck. If I speed things up again, I got this unit of Duke's Guard to come down, figuring that we'll be able to get them to go after an enemy unit if we need to, but instead they get caught by these two units of greatswords, which is not the most ideal situation for them. So they are going to be taking a ton of casualties, and they actually lose a fair bit of models in the unit. But luckily we will keep them alive. They are trying their best though to fight valiantly, but the greatswords are just doing too good a job against him. Not surprising really, I suppose, considering that these guys are a little bit better in the combat fighting than my ones are. Anyway, at this point of the battle, if we head back towards the courtyard, you can see that it's been cleared out, right? Oh, sorry, over here. It's just a slaughter of enemy bodies sitting on the floor right here. We got other bits and pieces helping out, so if we let things slide a minute, we got Mina up here with the Dreadwings. I was deciding on where to send them, to be honest, because at this point a lot of the battle has already been won. If I hover over, you can see the enemy's only got 570 troops left, and all of my forces are basically engaging them at this point, so there's really not much for my characters left to do. These guys are still hanging on in here, although now they've been joined by a unit of Reichsguard that have charged into the rear. As I said, not ideal, but other places are going fairly well. Bulgars and the other units of the Duke's Guard have decided to slaughter their way through the enemy units up here, including the Huntsman General. I've got my Knights coming in at some point as well, just to help out with the numerous combats. So we've got the Eternal Infantry right here, and over here we've got the Bloodsworn making their way over. The Red Duke is here as well, because I thought it'll be useful for him to try and help Aucassin, who, where is he? It's actually done relatively okay, if I can spot where he is at this point. No, it doesn't matter. He's still alive, that's the main thing. But, yeah. At this point, victory is essentially mine. The only remaining units left are over here in the courtyard, where we've got some greatswords and some handgunners. But it's going to be very quickly then going over in retreat as well. So, yeah. The city now belongs to the undead. Very happy with that. We didn't take that many losses as well, which is quite nice. I did try to get through this fight as quickly as I can, but there's just so much stuff happening all over the place that I tried to keep up as much as I can. Maybe it meant that I was missing some bits and pieces, but it's one of those things. Nevertheless though, we finished things with a decisive victory, and we can go back to the campaign map to decide the fate of Altdorf. So as expected, another decisive victory. Although I have to admit, I was a bit surprised that these guys nearly got wiped out. My fault for getting them stuck in the situation they were in, I fully admit. But still, they were the main source of my casualties in this fight. Nevertheless though, we've defeated the garrison and Altdorf belongs to us. And that is quite the big milestone. So let's click this. 39,000 if I was willing to sack it. Oh, that is tempting. But I'm not going to. We're going to go ahead and occupy. Let's have a look. How much money am I going to get for taking Altdorf? 8,000. Okay, that's actually a fair amount. Right, Vikland is now secured. You're defeated. Mortal Informer. Night Shroud. Okay, it's not a bad magical item, I guess. I mean, it's not exactly good, but I'll take it. Right, Malabad. We'll check out Altdorf in just a moment, but what I want to do with you, I think. We do have a smaller army right here. We're just slightly out of range. I'm going to get you to march down to Grunberg. This way then we can actually go after none in the next turn. So yeah, we'll be able to secure that from Wissenland. So that's you done, that's you done. Eustache, you're still exhausted. Right, okay. Nicolette. So the first thing I'm going to get you to do, Nicolette, is finish off these guys. I think this is the last remaining Barrow Legion army, so I would like to kill them off if I can. So they have a badly wounded Herrgeist, some direwolves, and Ferdinand himself. Okay. Well, we killed off the Terrorgeist, but thanks to the dead rays again, well, Ferdinand's still alive, and so is the direwolves. Alright, what to do? Might as well just go and kill them off, I guess. And then chase them down. I have to just think of it this way. It's given her experience, which is what we want, right? So let's move you down here. Finish off this guy. There we go. Alright, Dark Magic. Again, we'll just go ahead and take the leadership. Barrow Legion has been destroyed. Grave Digger. Okay. Now I'm going to just get you to move But no, I'll tell you what I'll do. Let's get you heading towards Night Pass. I can use her then just to temporarily pop into Reichland in order to go after this army here. And then we'll be able to bring her back into Bretonnia for wherever we need her to do. So you move up to there. You move over here, of course. Alright. William and Vlad. What to do with you guys? Now, I could take one of them back to the Moot in order to go after Gelt, but I would like to try and secure Solland first. We've already got Altdorf, so all we need to do is head over here to Steingart in order for us to take that, and then that's the province secure. I would also like to try and go down to Fort Sol. Now, we can tell from the red border where my mouse is that Skaven obviously own it. Now, I don't know what they've actually got, though, or even what they got as part of the garrison, so that's not the most ideal, although we can, actually. Vendrick, let's use you to search the ruins and see what we're dealing with over here. Okay, thank you. Hates Skaven, no surprise. But if we have a look... Oh god, that's a lot of death globes. So we've got a few Death Globe Bombardiers, a few Clan Rats, some Rat Ogres, Plague Claw Catapults. I mean, to be honest, we could probably deal with these guys relatively easy. But what do they have inside? Tretch Craventail himself. So he's got some Ashen Triads, some Death Runners, Clan Rats, Skaven, a bunch of weapon teams, and some more Night Runners. Alright. Okay, doesn't seem to be anyone else nearby though. But I think, just to be secure, I think it would be better if I send both Vlad and William to go after Fort Sol. So let's actually get you to head back here first. We'll take Steingart, keep Vlad nearby, and then we'll have them march together. So you do that. Occupy. Picked up a carrion. Brave, poison, secured. Right. Right. What do we have for buildings? These are pretty crap. And Solland, for us, doesn't have any unique landmark buildings or anything like that. So, not really much I can do with here, to be honest. Let's disband both of them. At the very least, at Steingart, I want to make sure we have a garrison. And if we can get something to increase our growth, that would be very useful. So, Vlad, let's have you go over and kill this guy. Goodbye. Right.
I shall go.
Banner of Eternal Flame, cool. I'm gonna take that. Let's move you back. Okay. There we go. Anything else now? You've already moved, you've moved. Right. So we've got 21,000, some dark magic. Let's have a look to see what we can upgrade. Now I believe actually over here in Blackstone Post, yeah, now that we've actually upgraded it, we should be able to get our hands on Castle Drachenfels and Catacombs. So we'll give you that. Gran Zent, sure, we'll give you this. We got the garrison already, so don't really need that. I'm just going to go and give them Snail Hunting Grounds for a little bit of extra cash. And we'll get rid of that, actually. Maybe we can see about increasing our dark magic in the area, something like that. Okay, Artois, you were okay. Let's check Uberswijk out. So, Altdorf, right. Ooh, what's this? The Altdorf Conclave of Forbidden Magic. Oh, that sounds cool. Of course, this is the equivalent of the Imperial Colleges. Gain a bunch of bonuses for vampires and necromancers, as well as increasing our research rate in that. It's got a slight downside, in my opinion, that although it allows us to have the alchemical compounds, compared to a necromancer's tower, like this one here, the Forbidden Library, this actually gives us more money, and it does actually give a few bonuses for our damsels in that as well. What I'm actually thinking as well is, given that Reichland is quite a wealthy province, you can see there we've already got 3,000 income coming from here. I think it might be worth us changing Reichland to become a economy-focused province. We'll try and see about maybe using one of the nearby ones, maybe not Wissenland or something like that. But it's also very close to Aquitane, which we're also using for military recruitment. So, yeah, it might be better actually if we disband those. Sure, we'll get rid of that too. We'll upgrade Grunberg. Can't do any defenses, but if we get the pastures, that would increase our growth. And then, what else is there? I suppose we could actually go for Spirit Well, just because it's a high tier settlement and it will increase our capacity for our Damned Knights units. Or we can go for the Vampire Crypts and Forbidden Library just to gain the income from that as well. Why don't we just do all of it? So we'll grab that to start things off. We could go for defenses as well. And now let's go for a dark alleyway fence just to increase our income a bit more from there. We'll get you some defenses. We need to make sure we build a brazier here just to increase our dark magic. Oh, that reminds me. Massive Oracle. Alright, let's increase Marienburg here. Sure, we'll get some better defenses for there, just in case. Okay, Bastan, let's increase our zombie mines, increase this. Alright, how's this doing? Growth? Okay. Korean, 6 more turns, we can upgrade it to a tier 4. Castle Artois, slowly getting done. Bordelot, slowly getting done. In fact, we could actually get Nicolette to do that. We could send her over to where the skull was in order to get our hands on 20,000 dark magic. But I suppose we can get there eventually. Schwarzhaven. Let's give you grazing pastures as well. And it also provides a bit of extra income from our farms. So we could also try and get that as well. But yeah, we haven't got enough money anyway, so let's not worry about that. But the thing that I got reminded was that after hearing about it from Bacala, I think it'd be best if I actually try and take, what is it, here. The 7 Great Mountains and see if we're willing to confederate with Blood Keep, just because it allows us to secure the entire province. Now let's have a look. They're quite happy. Alright, what about money? How far do you think we can push him?
Absolutely not.
Okay, maybe not that far. What about 1,200? Okay, thank you. Alright, Confederation done, for province secure. Right. So Bloodkeep, we have Vampire Crypts, giving us some extra income already. Shady Tavern and Witch House. Okay. The Night Watch don't particularly need it, so we'll go ahead and disband that. I haven't got enough money for defenses, which is unfortunate. We could go for Hunting Game to reduce our Direwolves and Vargolfs, but I think we'll be okay for that for the moment. What I need to do is try and track down any armies we've now picked up. So in fact, let's use Lords and Heroes. A Duke, Cassine, Nicolette, William, Vlad, Ferdinand Morfen. Where are you? Ah, here. Alright. Yeah, we don't need any of these, so I'm just going to disband them. You can... Excuse me. I said, excuse me, I want to disband you. Thank you. And disband you. There we go, 10,000 a turn. Now don't get me wrong, I do want to get another army at some point. Maybe go for either Strigoi or Nekark. But for the moment, I'd rather just have the extra income coming in. So yeah, we've done all that. Let's quickly go through the skills. So you now pick up Immortality, sure, Info Seeker. Alright. Vendrick, you've now finished all your campaign skills, so we're just going to go and work on Gutter Fighter. William. Still waiting to give you your Hippogriff, but we can now give you... Oh, we only got 1 point. Revenge Served Cold. This increases our equipment rank, income, and everything else. What I'm looking forward to, though, is getting my hands on the secrets of the Bloody Grail. Perfect Vigor, Casualty Replenishment. All those sound fantastic. Your paramour, Margaret. Let's give you the Wyvern. I don't know, I can imagine her making something with her from the stories we've had so far. Right. Anyway. Let's see, let's give you another point in Wind of Death. If we can make it a bit cheaper in the next level up, that would be great. Cassine, let's see. It's a shame we can't give you any cheaper versions of these. Oh, eventually we will be able to, but 23. Well, let's actually give you Beguile. I wouldn't mind starting to work a bit on his combat abilities. So we'll get you to do that. Vlad. Ooh. Still kind of want you to become better in combat. Extra growth. Yeah, getting our hands on Red Fury would be pretty nice. So we've already got a Master Strike. Let's go Blade Shield for now. Luan Basant, we'll give you Uranus Thunderbolt. Finish that off. Okay, Natalie, let's give you Magical Reserves. Matthias, give you a Hellsteed, definitely. I'll go for that too. Okay, Fleur, let's give you Counter-Strike. Okay, Commandments. I'm just going to go for the... let's just go for the growth for the moment. And same for you. And we'll go for the Harvest Corpses here. Alright, we're Duke. Let's give you actually extra armor. Because I've noticed he is taking a bit of damage in fights despite his stats. So maybe that'll be something to help him out in that regard. Okay, you finished all of that. Let's give you Soothsayer. Oh god, how many more characters do I have to level up? Oh dear. I think I spent about 4 minutes now just doing this. Right. Oh, we can give you a Pegasus. But I still want to hold on for her Coven Throne, and she's not going to get that for another 5 level ups. Never mind. We'll spend 1 point though on Evasion. And I will go for Magical Reserves for you, just for the moment. And then, finally, we can hit the end turn. So, during the end turn phase, we've got our hands now on a Black Cat, which I have to admit looks kind of cute in the picture. But this is because Eustache, when an assassinated a enemy character, I do remember actually it's giving him a target, but he went ahead and did it. So, like on that. Oh yeah, we can recruit Harkon. I have to have a look actually. Oh no, I've done it before. Because remember when I said before about me doing the episode where it's like I did all the recording and realised, oh crap, I've only got like 10 minutes? Yeah, doing that, I actually confederated with Bloodkeep and used Valak Harkon. And, yeah, not really anything wow-wee about him, I'm afraid. Ooh, Corrupt the Lands. Casualty replenishment 10%. My casualty replenishment at the moment is so high for my armies that it doesn't really matter in a way how many casualties we take in a fight. We'll be able to get them back pretty much within the following turn. It's ridiculous. Alright, keep going. Right. Let's have a look-see. Legendary Hero. Still got a chance. 29%. That's not bad. How many turns have we got left though until 2 turns? Do you think it's worth it? I mean, 6% chance of us actually being wounded. Give it a go. Failure. Okay, that's fine. Gives them experience at least. Okay, Nicolette. I'm going to let you carry on into Wigeland to go after a convoy here. So you go ahead and do that. Aidan can just run around up here. Bernard can do the same over here. Right, William and Vlad. Now, it is tempting to go after Fort Seoul right away. But something that else has actually caught my eye during the end turn phase is, if I pop on here, and see if I zoom in out a little bit, can we see her? Oh, right, no. Maybe we can do it on here, because I swore I saw it during the end turn phase, not the end turn phase, sorry, last time we were on here. So, Grand... Okay, Espifon Draken is somewhere around here. Now, I haven't seen her for quite some time, I have no idea what she's got, but I think it could be in our best interest to actually try and figure it out. So, we know she's somewhere in Wissenland, and we can't see Dottenbach, so to me, that's the most likely location for her. So what I'm thinking is, if we get Vlad to make his way to Wissenberg, he can secure the territory for us, and hopefully, here we are, was able to spot the army in the process. Nice easy fight, there we go. I will go ahead and occupy. And we picked up the Shield of Ptolos. Okay, Toy's Executioner. So what do you have? A bunch of gold chevron troops, but mainly just things like spearmen, archers, nothing major. Gregor here is going to be a little trickier because of those Hellstone rocket batteries. But if we can bring in William, I'll get you over here to Fildorf. It's going to be a little risky leaving Steingart by itself, but I'll have to do it for the moment. So I'll go ahead and do that with you. Not much else we can really get you to build here. That's okay. So, yeah. Let's leave that. You guys then can do what you're doing. Alright, Malabad. Let's take the opportunity to see about going after None. I know there's a small army inside led by Marcus here. Okay. Hellstone rocket batteries, loads and loads and loads of mortars. Oof. Maybe this could be a good idea for us to bring in the Red Duke as well. Just because, why not? Might as well play things a little safely at this point. So yeah, let's get you back to Grunberg. Let's get you to march down here. And then the two of you can go together against them in the following turn. You've moved. Everybody else has now moved. Okay. Let's have a look at some more spending money. Let's just increase that. And that. What else? Tempelhof could be done with a bunch of upgrades. Schwarzhaven, let's give you that. We'll go ahead as well. Let's give you the fields, just because why not? Give you that. Give you that. Okay, this we don't really need. I will get rid of that at Fort Obenstein. Let's increase this. And yeah, that should do, that should do. Avenheim, let's upgrade the Brazier. And in fact, actually, cancel that. Let's head back to Altdorf, because we've got a bunch of building slots. So, ooh, Occupied Imperial Palace. Oh, that looks really cool. I like the fact as well it gives me plus 30 diplomatic relations with the Empire. Right, anyway. Let's go ahead and give us some extra cash. We want to get our hands, actually, on a Belfry Brazier. We'll go for the tap room just for the extra public order. And given... it doesn't really matter which one of these we go for. That one is going to increase the Untainted. And we're already going to have one field in the area. So yeah, we'll go for snail hunting, I think. Unless there's anything else we need. Now what we could do... could go for this, just to increase our uses of that. Or I can save up a minute and get my hands on the vampire equips. Yeah, we'll go for that, So 4,894, I should say. Right. Blackstone Post. Could go for the Dark Iron Pit. I'm going to go instead for defenses. And I think that shall be everything. Let's give you some defenses here as well. Right. Let's quickly go do these. So at this point we'll start working on Precise. Vlad. Let's give you Blade Shield. His next level up will be able to give him Red Fury, so that will be useful. Nally, let's give you with Purple Sun. I much prefer that spell to the Fated Yuna, even though I find that spell quite funny, given what it actually does. I don't really know how it quite fits, in many ways, as a spell of, death magic. When you consider that it's just basically makes someone laugh themselves to death. But, yeah, it's quite funny to think, nevertheless. Alright, any characters? No, but we could block his army. Damage the walls? Didn't realise we could actually damage the walls, to be honest with you. Alright, you. What is your stats like, actually? Nothing really for these, and a little bit better for that. Okay. What I might get you to do then, Emily, is I might actually get you to come up and join with Nicolette. Yeah, we haven't got a vampire in her army, so yeah, sure, why not? Then, as for technology, what to get? Strigoi legacies, extra campaign movements, extra income. Those could be useful, given that having extra income is always a good thing. Ooh. Not so much about that, but the unification of Bretonnia. Increase the aura size, diplomatic relations with Bretonnia and the vampire counts, physical resistance 10%. Sure. Even more level ups. That's the thing when we have so many characters, we have to do this every time. Alright, why can't we get level 10? Right. Let's just give you a sort of unit for now then, I guess. Okay, so things were kind of interesting in that end-turn phase. So Fendrick had an attempted assassination, Wissenland's under siege. Right. Engineering. Okay. So the main thing that really popped up is over near Fort Sol, Tretch has actually moved. He's decided to move over this way, and instead we got Trey, who's got a bunch of crappy units, and he is force-marched into Fort Sol. So if I did want to go after them now, it would be a good opportunity to do so. However, during the end turn phase, also Orion ended up doing a suicidal charge on this unit here, and ended up having his army wiped out. Didn't work out for him. But over here in Wissenberg, we've got two armies from Wissenland actually laying siege now to the city. Now Vlad is inside. If we get him to come out and attack, what does it look like? Oh, actually it's fairly good. So what? You do that. Oh, we lost one unit of skeleton warriors. That's okay. One of those things. Talisman of Endurance. We'll murder the captives. Right. And we picked up a battle marker. Ooh. What can we get? A bunch of nothing. It's all because he hasn't got any more points left for the Force. Because we've decided to go with a fairly more standard army for him. So he doesn't have access to all the units like the Damned Knights and things like that. But we could actually increase his uses of Wailing Hags, or we can even get some more Khan Waves instead. To be honest, I'm going to get that. Why not? So that's you done. But now we can have you come in and finish off Marcus here. And then they both will be in a relatively good position. With them now dead. Dead Rise again. Cool. Good attacker. Abductor. Right. Is it worth us sending William's army to go up against Espeth? Bear in mind, she's a strong character on a dragon and has a bunch of bonuses. But on the other hand, the army itself isn't the best. I mean, they're highly experienced. But it's still just archers, basic spearmen, a couple of weapon batteries, but I think I'd rather just wait and let them try and go after them together. So you do that. Malabad can then attack No. Still against us, even with the army moved out. But that's okay, now we've got the Red Duke. We'll come in then. And this should be enough to take him out. Oh yeah, a few casualties. But, there we go, another capital though belonging to us. Bit of the Gravedigger. What do we get for here though? Bloodkeep entryway. Ooh. At the foot of the Grey Mountains, a heavy garrison protected the passage to the keep. It was the first to fall when Imperial armies attacked long ago. So this gives us a whole bunch of bonuses for Blood Knights. I do wonder though, because it does allow me to recruit them, I wonder if it's still going to fall within the mod settings I've got, which is where, as you guys know, I can only recruit Blood Knights usually through the ritual. But I wonder if the landmark buildings would give me an exception to that. The other thing that I can't help but notice as well is the income from all buildings goes up by 25% for all regions in the province. So that's a bunch of really good bonuses, I must say. For the meantime, there's not really much else we can do for the money-wise, so let's go ahead and give you that. We don't really need the Sacred Swamp, in all honesty, right now. So we'll demolish that. I'll get the defenses built. And then we'll swap over and get a tap room then for none as well. Now, as for you... see what we'll do. Let's get you a little closer to here. And I might even get... oh, actually. Actually. If I get you forced marching, Duke, you can actually get within range of Dottenbach, right? And then we can get William. No, not William, sorry. Vlad. To march up and attack Dottenbach. So even though Espeth will be brought into the fight, hopefully the Red Duke... wow. Oh wait, we all took casualties, right. Okay, well, what we'll do then, we'll take the settlement, go ahead and occupy it. That's going to force her to not only retreat, but she's now going to take attrition from being in vampiric territory. We've now secured all of Wissenland. Yes. Alright, we'll get you just to force march inside here for the moment. Blessings of the lady be upon you. Now, if we're unlucky, what will happen is that she'll try and attack Wissenberg. If that happens, it won't be ideal, but I'd rather have William's army fighter than Vlad's, just because, well, he's got the better units. But we'll let them have some time now to see, and we'll do what happens next. That made more sense in my head, but you know what I mean. Right, we've got a rebel army here. Nicolette, go and kill me some orcs. Sour beer taker, really. There you go. Alright, not much we can really do with this, but I'll take a little bit of extra cash, sure. Doctor... Right, not quite enough though to actually level up to level 10. That is most unfortunate. Okay then, let's... because Convoy, one has retreated into friendly territory, but also, for whatever reason, has ended up disbanding all those units. I'm not concerned about his force right now. So instead, can I get you to force march? I'm going to start bringing you up towards Corian. I'm a little concerned because I have noticed on the balance bars during the end turn phase that the Truthsayers Council are getting up to this relatively the same strength as us, and I'm a little concerned about that, given that they've been attacking us every opportunity they can get their hands on. Alright, for the moment, let's upgrade you there. And I said about wanting to get this, so we'll go ahead and get that. Okay, Grunberg itself. For the moment, let's just get our hands on 8 extra defenses. Unless I really wanted to go to town with the money, why? In that case, what we would need to do is get our hands on some fields. We can upgrade that as well. And as well for the extra growth after all. 7,000... Blackstone Post, we'll upgrade that, sure. Gossel will do the same with you. And that's all our money. Okay, Vendrick, what to do with you? If we can get... Oh, we're just too far away, aren't we? If we can get you, though, to go after one of them, that would be nice. You are on guard for the moment. Why? What about you? Nope, you. What's your chances against these? 37. It's not ideal. But give it a try. Failure. Okay, never mind. Alright, you've moved. Unassigned points. Alright, Mina at this point will continue giving you Soothsayer. Lorraine La Marchella, this is our damsel with Malabad, is now finally gained immortality. You, Malabad, I still think it would be good for you to start working on your combat abilities, but I'd still like the idea of actually giving you the ability for Lightning Strike. Especially as we get into the later part of the game now, where we're going to be doing a lot of fighting. So yeah, the ability to be able to pick and choose our battles would be really useful. Sure, we'll go and spread some more vampire corruption in the meantime. Okay, William can now give you the secrets of the Bloody Grail. So as you can see here, Bretonnia knights talk of being visited by the Lady of the Lake in their dreams. Only this lady is clad in dark robes and offers a grail full of blood-red wine, explaining that she must prepare the knights for the blood they soon will be called upon to spill in her name. Most do not drink. Most, but not all. So this is going to give us even more casualty replenishment, but it also allows them to have perfect vigor. So just like having the Grail virtue, he would never get tired. Oh yeah, 10% ward save for all peasant units. I forgot about that. Aldrich, you can get your hands on the corpse card with Unholy Lodestone now. Grab that. So if I remember right, this is the one which will allow us to actually regenerate our units nearby. It's been a while, I can't quite remember. Evasion, disintegration... Oh, is it not there? You know what, it doesn't matter that much. It's still a better version of the Balefire, so we'll take it. Or better yet, let's give you Winds of Death. Just to give you that final upgrade, which gives you the cheaper cost for it. I'll give you Beguile, just increase your melee defense. Vlad, let's give you Red Fury. And Waking Dead for the increased damage before Blood Knights. Oh yeah, I gave you that, and I haven't actually given you any Fellbats and Direwolves. But sure, we'll give you the Unliving Host. Boost that up a bit as well. Alright, Luan Bassant will give you the Barded Warhorse. It's a shame you don't get Pegasus, but it's one of those things, I guess. You can have the Hunger, and I'll give you the Purple Sun again. Matthias, our White King. I am really happy I was able to give him the Siege Veteran, just because, if you remember, this is the character, well, I say character, but the sergeant, I guess you can say, of the one of the Graveguard that defended Knight's Pass, and did a really good job until he eventually got overwhelmed. So, yeah, I think having Siege Veteran was really, really cool. We've done all of that, I guess we can start making you even tankier in combat. Okay, Flo can now give you Fleetfoot of extra speed. Let's give you extra health. Oh, actually, 2 points. Give you one there, and we'll give you Slippery as well for even more speed. Okay, Eustache, not really much I can get you to do at this point, but I'll start moving you down here, because there are a bunch of agents there. And, excuse me, I wanted to have a quick look here. The minus 10% upkeep production is going to be really good, but we need 12 to do that. And... wait, what? We got 6 blood kisses, but according to that, we can't actually unlock anything. Weird. Okay, Wissenland, we'll go ahead and give you some extra growth. Ah, damn it, Gelt. So he's decided now to attack Grenstadt. That's unfortunate because, again, not much of a garrison to it. I'm just gonna have to accept another loss. Oh, that's good. It's a shame we didn't get a blood kiss for that. But Grenstadt has been lost, None is under siege. I'm actually kind of glad though that she went after None instead of Wissenberg, because now we're in a position to easily wipe out Esper von Draken, and with that hopefully destroy Wissenland as a faction. So, if we grab the Red Duke... Now what I might actually do for a bit of a change is get Vlad to go after her. So make sure we go up to the right character. So you can kill her off. There we go. Goodbye. Alright. Look at that. The amount of enemies that those Hellstone Walker batteries managed to kill in the auto-resolve. And here, Fyodor Bruckner, the legendary hero that Wissenland has. 119. Madness. Alright. Not so worried about the casualty replenishment, we'll just go and return the captives. Faction has been destroyed. Picked up another banner. Superior attacker. There you go, that will be useful for Vlad. Extra starts in magic, and the research rate will just help us out in general. Now the thing with Vlad, I think I would like him to actually try and swap out some of his units if possible. I don't know what else for, maybe get the peasants instead of the skeleton spearmen, things like that. I mean, the way I'm sort of envisioning it is that, as I've talked about before, I want to try and have at least one army from each bloodline. And while Vlad is von Carstein and typically you think skeleton warriors, there is an argument to be made that as he is the elector count at the time, you could say, of Sylvania, the von Carsteins had that relationship with the peasants where many of the peasants just sort of kept going because they found Vlad to be a much better noble than the ones that came before. And yeah, if it meant that occasionally someone had to disappear into the night in order for them to be able to keep themselves going and not have to pay as much taxes as well, yeah, they will be quite happy to march in his armies. So there is an argument to be made that we could put some men-at-arms in the army instead of the skeleton warriors, and it'd still be fairly accurate. I mean, we've done that already with the Pegasus Knights as well, but we could always swap out the Crypt Horrors for something else too. That'd be a little tempting, actually. I tell you what, for now, let's stick you in Null. Oh no, actually, cancel that. I didn't realise Malabad was in it still. Okay. We now still want to try and go after here, if possible, and we still want to get our hands back on Grenstadt. So, what do we want to do? Tretch is nearby here, and making his way over. So if we grab William, I think we'll be okay if we attacked with William, but I'd rather get you over here for the minute. See if you can block off his army. It's only 27% chance I saw, but it might work. Come on, you can do it, Vendrick. Damn it. Okay, so now you've moved. Vlad. Alright, let's have a look and see what we got. Actually, nothing really of use. Alright, let's actually disband the Crypt Horrors. It does give us access, actually, to 2 more units, so we can get our hands on some more Graveguard to replace our Skellies. Well, as much as we can, because we only got access to one of them from here. You know what? I think I'll do just that. We'll go ahead and merge these. Get our hands on you instead. And from the local recruitment, there we go. Right. So that gives you... Hang on. Yeah, we'll disband you as well, then.
Bow before me.
Oh, we can't get the other one? Really? Oh no, it's okay. Let's give you some more monsters then, in the form of them. Okay, Malabads. Let's actually get you, I'm thinking, headed towards Flensburg. And be able to take that in the following turn, and march up to Futbad, take Niedlin, and then we can go into Talabekland if we wanted to take Guggenheim. But what I would like to do now is basically clear up the last of Stirland, and then we can push up and then take or burn down Guggenheim, take Niedlin, and what I would like to do really is head up towards Ostenmark. But because, as you can see, Reichland have still got a couple of regions. It's only 2, sorry, 3 actually. Oh, why, yeah, I forgot. They're actually a war, I believe.
I will hear your petition, but make no promises.
Wait. Yeah, they're actually a war with Stirland. So that's actually going to help us out, for obvious reasons. So, yeah. If we can secure the rest of Ostenmark, that would be quite handy. Now we can see about maybe going after the rest of the Empire, then. Okay, so anyway, Vlad is now moved. Immediately done. Red Duke. I want you... Dukey boy, to actually make your way down towards Fort Sol. We might be in a position to be able to just go after the place, wipe it out, take it back under our own control. Alright. Anything useful here? Oh, why didn't I get Vlad to come down here? We get the mortars engines, we got the black coach, so I mean that's proper Von Carstein right there. In fact, I'm going to do exactly that. Let's move you down. In fact, let me just check. Region Wissenberg. Right. I'll march you down towards here, and then you'll be able to do it then in the next turn. Then Eustache, let's get you. It's a shame we didn't kill off any heroes beforehand. We'll get you here marching up towards here. We'll see about going after some of those characters and then any other thing we can spot. You're making your way over towards Langrill, that's fine by me. You're okay. Vendrick is fine. Oh. I didn't realise how badly damaged Malabad's forces are. Can we? Damn. Okay, well, fingers crossed, we're not going to have any enemies actually make their way over and attack during the end turn, because otherwise Malabad could be in a bit of trouble. Right, you move. Right, you... Let's get you... Oh no, I was going to get you to join up with Nicolette, wasn't I? So sure, make your way up towards here. And then, let's see, Bulgars will give you Devastating Charge, finish that off, and then hit this. Okay, so, doing the end turn phase. We had a bit of a situation happen with William, but luckily we were able to get out of it. We've got a rebellion about to kick off as well. Fantastic news. Go for all of that. But, yeah, William had a situation here when he was nearly attacked by Lord Squawk. Sorry, Tresh Craventail, Lord Squawk, and there was another unit, but I could have swore it must have disappeared off. But anyway, he actually had an okay chance of winning, but I figured I might as well just wait a turn, pull back, and then we can now go after the Tretch and that in the next turn. But we'll end things here for today. Next episode, we've got a lot to clear up here in Solent. Not only do we have 2 large Skaven forces, as well as Fort Sol, but now we've got Gelt arriving outside Steingart for us to go after. Their Stirland forces are, you know, starting to become more and more stronger over here in the Moot. But we're in a position now to actually go after Flensburg and start taking their territories before heading into Ostenmark. We've also captured, you know, both Altdorf and Non, which has given us a fair bit of territory, and we're in a position where I would like to actually see about getting another army. Now, even though I was talking about going for the Necroarch first of all, I think I would like to go for the Strigoi Ghoul King. So I'm actually going to go ahead. I'm going to awaken it now, so I don't forget. And then, yeah, I'll see about maybe putting that army together in the next episode. We want to focus a lot then on Crypt Ghouls, Crypt Horrors, Terrorgeist, and units like that. Or at least as much as we can get. I don't actually know if Mousillon can get Terrorgeists. That could be an interesting thing to find out. But anyway, guys, let's leave it here for today. Thank you all for watching today's episode, despite it being a day late. I hope you don't mind. And that you do join me next time, of course, for some more Warhammer. But until then, everybody, take care, stay safe, and goodbye for now.